What's up, everybody? Manapool here. Today I'm going to be opening up some of these mystery boxes. It's from the MJ Holding Company, so this is a magic product, but who can resist good gambling on these mystery boxes? So let's see what we got in here today. Let's start with this one. Whenever I'm at Walmart, I always look for these things, just because why not? Let's see. Alright, so here's our promo. Calamity Bear. Kind of hard to see it. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals double that instead. Guess it's good for giants, but super pringled. Classic. Alright, what do we got here? Crimson Vow. Alright. Ooh. Draft booster for Baldur's Gate. That's kind of cool. And then Innistrad Midnight Hunt. Alright, well, let's start with Crimson Vow. Let's see what we got in here. Alright. Nurturing Presence. That's not too bad. Not a bad one. Enchanted Creature is whenever a creature enters the battlefield in control, gets a +1/+1. When this enters, you make a token. Falcon Celebrants. Not too bad. Rich Throng. Heron Blessed Geist. Flourishing Hunter. Gift of Fangs. Good for vampires. +2/+2 to a vampire. Enchant creature or land. That's an interesting one. Honored Heirloom. 3 mana rock. Add 1 of any color. Exile card from a graveyard. That's kind of interesting. Little utility there. Discard a creature card. Draw a card. Good for throwing zombies in the graveyard. Or anything. Binding Geist. Not too bad. Pack Song Pup. Some werewolf support. Valorous Stance. Hell yeah. Target creature gains indestructible or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Radiant Grace. When a creature dies, return to the battlefield transformed. Radiant Restraints. Turns into a curse. Interesting. Oh, we've got a legendary here. Angie, Maid of Dishonor. When Angie and or 1 or more other vampires enter under your control, create a blood token. Only once each turn. Sacrifice another creature or blood token. Each opponent loses 2, and you gain 2. Not terrible. Cool mountain, though. I do like the mountains from this set. Any land from this set looks really cool. And a boar token. How about that? What's on the back? Nothing. Alright. Let's see what we can get out of Baldur's Gate. This was a fun one. Probably get some good cards in here. Let's have a look. Oh, Charcoal Diamond. Kind of a cool artwork. I like that. Lantern of Revealing. Another mana rock. This one's 3 to add 1 of any color, but then 4 to look at the top card. And if it's a land, put it on the battlefield. If you don't put it on the battlefield, you may put it on the bottom. It's kind of cool. With Cliffgate. Tapped land. Not my favorite. Confronted by Robbers. 4 mana to tap 3 creatures or make 3 soldiers. Oh, here we go. 7 mana for a 7/6 with a 4 mana instant. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on creature. Target creature, untap it, gains hexproof. For 4 mana, it's a little rough. Pseudo Dragon Familiar. A 3 mana 2/1 flying. Kind of mid. Ooh, a 7 mana 6/3. He only has flying. But he deals 1 damage to each creature you don't control for his adventure. Sturge. Can't block. A 1 mana 1/1. Pay 1 life, sacrifice him to draw a card. Not too bad, I suppose. Dawnbringer Cleric. When he enters, choose 2. Destroy target enchantment. Exile target card. That's not too bad. Xenia deck with Offspring. Get 2 of these guys. 4 life, 2 enchantments, or exile 2 cards. Not the worst thing. Colossal Badger. Enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. 6 mana for a 6/5 that lets you gain 3. It is a sorcery for 2. Choose target creature, mill 4 cards, and put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each card milled this way. A Manor Gate, another tap land. Cornelia Orb of Dragonkind. That is a cool one. 3 mana, tap it to add a red. If the mana spent on a dragon, it gets haste. It's kind of cool. Probably better ways to give haste, but it's still interesting. Merkel's Invoker. For 8 mana, creatures you control get +2/+0 and menace till end of turn. That is quite steep for that ability. A legendary creature. See, we got a 4 mana 3/3 Dwarf Cleric. It has haste. When it attacks, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each player being attacked. That is interesting. There are probably ways to make that work pretty interesting. What do we have here? Banishment. Oh yeah. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls and all other permanents. Be good for those pesky heir apparent decks. Or something of that nature. Like that. Draconic Muralists. When they die, you may search for a dragon card. I bet nobody will want to kill that. Oh, what do we got here? The Naya Commander. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, it gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Whenever an aura you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, until your next turn you may cast it. And that's kind of interesting. Naya Auras. Halfling Knight. Oh, we got a background here. Commander creatures you control have menace, and this creature gets +X/+0, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. That is pretty cool. I like that background. Ah, Sea of Clouds. There we go. That's pretty sweet. Enters tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. Oh, nice. Two-handed axe. I like this card. 3 mana for an equipment. Whenever a creature attacks, double its power. Or 2 mana for an instant where you give a target creature double strike. This card has won me games in my Boros equipment deck. I love two-handed axe. It's pretty sweet. Not too bad. Sea of Clouds, two-handed axe. I like those. What do we got here? Oh, the Initiative, of course. And the Undercity. Nice. Alright, well, moving on. Last one in that box. Let's see what this Innistrad one has. Oh, come on now. Alright. Bat Whisper. When it enters, an opponent lost life, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. 4 mana 4/2. Makes a bat when it enters. Not the worst. Snarling Wolf. 2 mana to give it +2/+2 until end of turn. 1 mana 1/1. Flare of Faith. Target creature gets +2 until end of turn. If it's a human, instead it gets +3/+3 indestructible. Kind of cool in a Selesnya human deck, maybe. Protect your commander for 2 mana. Crossroads Candle Guide. Enters battlefield up to exile up to 1 target card. That is a lot. 4 mana for a 3/4. You have to pay 2 to get 1 mana, and it'll only exile 1 card. A little rough. Oh, this is a cool one. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put any number in the graveyard and the back on the top in any order. This card I actually just put in my in this deck. Rosethi. It's pretty sweet. She wants those cards in the graveyard. Novice Occultist. When it dies, you draw a card and lose a life. 2 mana for a 1/2. Search Party Captain. Costs 1 less for each creature you attacked with this turn. When he enters, draw a card. Or you could play Spirited Companion and just draw a card that way. A lot of hoops to jump through there. Lambolt Harrier. 4 mana, target creature can't block this turn. Interesting. Kind of like a Rogue's Passage. Creature can't be blocked, or your creature can't block, depending on what way you want to go. When this enters the battlefield, there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard. Tap enchanted creature, and it doesn't untap. That's kind of cool. Seen that one before. Oh, here we got a werewolf, Shady Traveler. He's got menace, and he's daybound. And let's see, turns into a stalking predator. Still has menace, but he turns into a 4/4. It's kind of cool. Ah, the Moonsilver Key. This is a good one. 2 mana. Pay 1 to sacrifice it. Search for an artifact with a mana ability or a basic land card. This can be pretty sweet. Help you find a combo piece. Obsessive Astronomer. If it's neither night or day, it becomes day as it enters. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, good grief. Day-night can friggin' stay in this set. Don't want that. Thought about making a werewolf deck. Too complicated. Not about it. Additional cost to cast this. Sacrifice a non-land permanent. Exile a non-land permanent. You could flash it back, which seems kind of cool. And if you have tokens, not too bad to just sacrifice a token and exile something. Not the worst. Puppet Stitcher. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, get a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Ooh. If you, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, you may transform him into Puppet Factory. Creature tokens you control lose all abilities, base power, toughness 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform it. That is interesting. That could be cool. Maybe for zombies. Because they lose all abilities, would they lose Decayed? And then you wouldn't have to worry about it? It's interesting. Ooh, it's cool planes. I like the planes. And this mechanic can stay right here. And we'll put that at the bottom so we don't have to think about it. Alright. Not too bad so far. Honestly, Sea of Clouds and the two-handed axe is probably the most exciting thing. And the lands. The lands look pretty cool. Alright. Round 2. Let's see what we got in this one. Alright, we got Commander Masters. Be a good one. There's the promo. In a second. Another Innistrad. Ooh, and a Brothers War. Get some good ones in the Brothers War. Let's see what we got. Welcoming Vampire. This isn't bad. 3 mana for a 2/3 with flying. Whenever one or more other creatures power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. You got ways to make tokens on your opponent's turn. Welcoming Vampire's popping off. That's cool. And it's not quite as badly prinkled as the giant one. So it's got that going for it at least. Let's start with Innistrad. Let's see. Get it out of the way. The less I have to think about day and night, the better. Alright, what do we got? A Falcon Abomination. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. They love that decay. 3 mana for a flyer. Ooh, Blade Brand. 2 mana for an instant to give a creature death touch and draw a card. Nice little combat trick there. Tapping at the Window. 2 mana to look at the top 3 cards of your library, reveal a creature card from among them and put it in your hand and the rest in the graveyard. Not the worst thing ever. Electric Revelation. Additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, then draw 2. And you can flash it back. I don't know if you'd want to flash it back for 4 mana. Stormrider Spirit. 5 mana for a 3/3 flash flyer. That seems a little steep for that. Ooh, Eccentric Farmer. Enters the battlefield, mill 3, then return a land from a graveyard to your hand. Nice little mill thing if you're doing that in landfall. Might come in handy. Ritual Guardian. Beginning of combat on your turn, 3 or more creatures with different powers, it will gain lifelink. Is that Coven? Not terrible. Coven's an interesting mechanic. Not too hard to get creatures with different powers. Famished Foragers. Enter the battlefield, and an opponent lost life this turn, you get to add 3 mana. Then for 2, discard a card, draw a card. So you could activate its ability right when you cast it if you felt so inclined. 4 mana for a 4/3 is not terrible. Ooh, that's a cool looking one. Vigilance and Nightbound, the Dire Strain Vauler. I like the way that looks. And here's the Tireless Hauler. That looks pretty cool too. Interesting that it was in there backwards. That's a cool looking one. Sunset Revelry. Opponent has more life than you, gain 4 life. If the opponent controls more creatures than you, create 2/2/1/1 white human creature tokens. If an opponent has more cards in hand, draw a card. So 2 mana to try and play catch up. It's not the worst thing. As long as the stars align and you can get, I feel like if you can get at least 2 of those things, it's worth it. But if you cast this and just get 1, I don't know, 2 mana draw a card, 2 mana to make tokens, and 2 mana to gain 4 life. Borrowed Time. Good one. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and permanent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Classic. Ooh, we got a Hound Tamer. Has trample, and for 4 mana can give a counter on a creature. Untamed Pup. This one gives other werewolves and werewolves you control have trample. You got an Untamed Pup. Other werewolves and werewolves you control have trample. And you can pay 4 to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Another one that I think it was weird turned around. Alright. Oh, here we go. Gisa Glorious Resurrector. A creature an opponent controls would die, exile it. At the beginning of your upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with Gisa into the battlefield under your control. They gain Decayed. That is sweet. That is cool. That's a really good one. Oh, sick island. Very cool. What have we here? Interesting. He's just chilling in there. Vadric Astral Archmage. For 3 mana, if it's either day or night... Oh, Lord. If it's neither day or night, it becomes day as he enters the battlefield. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is his power. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, he gets a counter. Man, he'd be really cool if he didn't work with the day-night mechanic. That sucks. Yeah, the insect. That insect, what's he doing? Is he holding a snake? That ant's got a snake in his mouth. That's cool. What's on the back here? Draft archetypes. That's cool. Alright. On to the next one. Let's see what we got here. We'll do the Commander Masters. Should be a good one. Let's have a look. Alright. Balduvian Horde. A 4 mana 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you discard a card at random. Kinda mid. Ooh, God's Willing. Target creature you control against protection of the color of your choice until end of turn. Scry 1. Good one. Nice little cantrip. I like. Not quite a cantrip, I suppose, but nice little thing. Scry 1. In some decks it can be. My Zethi deck, I like this card. Unearth. There we go. Return target creature card with converter mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Could be a good one. Plus it has cycling. Doesn't really feel dead in your hand. Cinderstorm. 7 damage to deal 7 mana to deal 7 damage to target creature or player. That is hefty. That is a bit much. 2 mana for a 2/1. Coral Helm Guide. 5 mana. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. That is very hefty. Ooh, a Giant Growth. Target creature use +3/+3 till end of turn. Very nice. Prophetic Prism. 2 mana, replaces itself, and enters, draw a card. Then for 1 tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I'm never a fan of cards that make you pay 1 then tap for any color. Not my thing. Oh, Dark Ritual. How about that? That's cool. It's pretty sweet. Skeletonize. 5 mana for an instant. Deals 3 damage to target creature. When a creature dealt damage this way dies, create a 1/1 black creature token 1/1 black skeleton creature with regenerate this creature for a black. Interesting. Odd one. Here's a Fathom Seer for 2 mana. He's a 1/3. You can morph. Return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand. So you can bring 2 islands to your hand and cast him face down as a 2/2 creature. And then when you pay the 3 mana to turn him face up, you get to draw 2. So, not the worst. Even if you don't have to morph him, you could put him in the what is it? That new mechanic from Dread. You manifest Dread. Because you turn him face up. Get 2 cards. Krosan Colossus. 9 mana for a 9/9. But you can morph him for 7. Or 8. Interesting. I don't know maybe why you'd want to do that. You could. Caustic Tar. Good grief. 6 mana for an enchant land where you can make someone lose 3 life. That is steep. Oh, Fierce Empath is a cool one. 3 mana for a 1/1. When it enters, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 6 or greater. Reveal and put into your hand. That is a sweet one. Find a really big card. Oh, Fetid Heath. Filter land. It's kind of cool. Tap for 1, or you can do a white or a black to tap for a double white, double black, or Orzhov. A Court Hussar. It is a 3 mana for a 1/3 with vigilance. When it enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom. But you have to sacrifice it unless you spent a white to cast him. Interesting. Ooh, that is a cool Elf Warrior token. I like that one a lot. I like that token. Alright. Now the Brothers War. This one should be cool. And I don't think this has the Transformers. I believe that was only the Collector's ones. Alright. 4 mana for an instant. Put 2 counters on target, 2 +1/+1 counters on target artifact, creature, or land. Untap that permanent. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 creature in addition to its other types. That is interesting. Dredging Claw. 2 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1 and has menace. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you may equip this to it. And equipped for 1 in a black. It's kind of interesting. Aeronaut Cavalry. 5 mana for a 3/4. Has flying. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or another target soldier you control. Only for soldiers, huh? Good lord. 3 mana for a 2/3, but for 7 mana, you can draw 2 cards. That's absurd. 4 mana for an instant. Mishra's Onslaught. Either make 2 1/1 colorless soldier tokens, or creatures you control get +2 until end of turn. Make tokens or pump? Kinda both mid. Wasteful Harvest. 3 mana to mill 5 cards and put a permanent from among the cards into your hand. Not the greatest, I don't think. Unless you get hit big. Better hope you don't mill something good. Although if you do, you're probably ready for it. Alright, 4 mana for a 3/1 Scrapwork Cohort. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Or you could pay 3 to unearth him from your graveyard. And he'll gain haste, but he will be exiled at the beginning of the next end step. And it costs 2 and a white. So you could get 2 1/1s out of it. Sounds fun. What's this one? Scrapwork Rager. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, you lose a life. 4 mana for a 2/2. And then you can unearth him. Doesn't really sound too good. Tokazia's Dig Site. It's a land. Tap to add 1 colorless, or pay 3 to tap and surveil 1. Bit of a hefty surveil cost there. Oh, prison sentence. Sounds like an exile effect of some kind, maybe. Well, let's see. When it enters, scry 2. Alright. And then an enchanted creature can attack or block, and its abilities can't be activated. Interesting. Kind of cool. Shut someone down. Ooh. Here's a 3 mana. We got a Gruul card. Arbalest Engineers. When they enter, choose 1. Deal 1 damage to any target. Okay. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature against trample and haste until end of turn. Okay. Seems useful. Or create a tapped Power Stone token. 3 mana. Basically, you would pick, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, give trample and haste. That could be effective. Play out a big beater and someone isn't expecting you to do anything, and then you drop the Arbalest Engineers. It's kind of cool. Mask of the Jade Crafter. That artwork looks kind of cool. 2 mana. Then you pay X to tap and sacrifice it to create an XX colorless golem artifact creature token. Unearth for 2 and a green. Not bad. You got the mana to dump into this thing, make a big creature, get it back, make another big creature. But then you gotta exile it. Only get to do it twice. Forging the Anchor. A 3 mana sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal any number of artifact cards from them, and put the revealed cards in your hand. Put the rest on your bottom of the library in a random order. That's kind of cool. You got an artifact deck, you just load up your hand with your artifacts. Only 3 mana. Could be good. Plus you don't have to bin them, just back on the bottom. Here we go. 4 mana for a sorcery, Fateful Handoff. Draw cards equal to the mana value of target artifact or creature you control, and opponent gains control of that permanent. Not too sure about that. Unless you want to give them something that sucks. A high mana thing that sucks. John Irenicus might like this card. That'd be pretty good. Ooh, what do we got here? Ivory Tower. Beginning your upkeep, you gain X life, or X number of cards in your hands -4. That effect sounds kind of whack. Unless you're drawing a ton of cards. If you're drawing a ton of cards, then this is pretty good. But if you're not, not a good time. Alright, that's 2 down. Let's see what's in this guy. Last one. Alright, let's see what we got here. Another Innistrad. Masters 25. What was the other one? Another Masters 25. And another Brothers War. Man, giving us the same ones. Then what was our promo? Another Welcoming Vampire. How about that? Sometimes you gamble and win. Sometimes you gamble and get cooked. Let's have a look and see at this Innistrad pack. Duel for Dominance. This has, I forget their names, but that is the werewolf commander. And that's that werewolf girl, Arlen? Something like that. 2 mana, Coven. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a +1/+1 counter on the chosen creature you control, then the chosen creatures fight. A lot of words to say fight. Not too bad. Stuffed Bear. 2 mana. And then for 2 mana, you can turn him into a 4/4 green bear artifact creature. That's kind of interesting. Creature on demand if you need it. Stormrider Spirit. Saw this guy earlier. Flash Flyer. No Way Out. 3 mana to make your opponent discard 2 and you get a zombie. Typical black. Whoa, Bramble Armor. 2 mana for an equipment, and when it enters, attach it for free. That's cool. Equipped creature gets +2/+1, but it is 4 to equipped. It's kind of hefty for just a +2/+1 ability. Pax Betrayal. Yes, Arlen and Tovolar. That's who they are. So for 3 mana, you gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. If you control a wolf or werewolf, scry 2. Yeah, not really too good unless you're playing in that tribe, because you want that full effect. Here we go. 5 mana for 5/4. Trample. Mounted Dread Knight enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. That's not terrible. Turn him into a 6/5, 5 mana. Trample. You got 4 mana for a 2/3. When he enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on 2 target creatures. Not the worst for 4 mana. Not the best. Famished Foragers again. Saw that earlier. Morning Apparition. Let's see the human side. The Vigilance. So it's 3 mana for a 2/3 Vigilance. And you can cast this card from your graveyard transformed for its disturbed cost of 3 and a white. And then when it's transformed, it is a flying Vigilance that if you put in the graveyard, you exile it. So 2/1. Interesting. That's kind of cool. End up dying, but at least you get to still see your dog. Loyal Griff. 3 mana for a 2/2. Flash Flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. It's kind of cool, maybe. 3 mana to save one of your cards real quick, plus put a body out on the field. Rise of the Ants. Oh boy. 5 mana for a sorcery. 6 mana. My bad. Create 2 3/3 green insect creature tokens. You gain 2 life, and it has a flashback of 8. 8 mana to make 2 insects. That is. You better hope that you are never in the situation where that is what you must do. A Vengeful Strangler. 2 mana for a 2/1. He can't block. When he dies, return to the battlefield transformed under your control, attached to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. So he turns into what? An enchantment? An aura. At the beginning of your upkeep, enchanted permanent controller sacrifices a non-land permanent and loses a life. That is kind of cool. Making them sack a permanent. Kind of like that one. Ooh, Tainted Adversary. 2 mana for a 2/3 with Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 and a black any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many counters on him, +1/+1 counters, then create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. That seems pretty good. 2 for 1, he gets counters, you get zombies, and he has Death Touch, and he's only 2 mana. I guess you gotta keep paying 3. You only need to do it once. 5 mana for a guy. Come in with a counter. And then 2 zombies. Twice that. It's not the worst. Cool island. Got a cool island, cool plains, cool mountain. I like that. Ooh, and the zombie creature token with Decayed. That's cool that it came with that. Alright. 2 more. Let's see. Masters 25 and Brothers War. Let's save the Masters last. Let's do the Brothers War. Let's see what's in this bad boy. Alright. Moment of Defiance. 3 mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains lifelink. These cards. Check that out. That is lovely. Nice little warp there. It happens sometimes when you gamble. Alright. Union of the Third Path, 3 mana. Draw a card, then you gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. Not bad if you got a full grip. Stern Lesson, 3 mana to draw 2, then discard, then create a tapped Power Stone. They love their Power Stone in this set. 3 mana to draw 2 and then discard and get a Power Stone. I wouldn't play it. 2 mana for an instant, Whirling Strike. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike and trample until end of turn. Not the worst. 2 mana. Surprise someone. Think they're going to block with a Death Touch creature or something. Be like, well, actually, it's going to die. And you're going to take the damage. Kind of cool. Shoot Down. 4 mana to exile an artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. I feel like there are better ways to do this. It's a little expensive. Fog of War. 3 mana to gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield. Prevent all combat damage to be dealt this turn by creatures with power 3 or less. Kind of tough. You could say you use it against tokens, but you know tokens are always getting buffed. They don't stay low for long. Energy Refractor. 2 mana. When it enters, draw a card. Then you pay 2 to add 1. Doesn't really sound like a good deal there. The Power Stone Engineer. 2 mana for a 2/1. When it dies, create a tapped Power Stone token. Again, not sure how I feel about that. You can only cast or you can't use it to cast non-artifacts, so. 5 mana, 4/4, the Power Plant Worker. So for 3 mana, you can give him +2/+2 until end of turn. And if you control creatures named Mine Worker and Tower Worker, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Power Plant Worker instead. Activate only once each turn. Kind of interesting. Keep pumping him as long as you've got those. Oh, look at that. Monastery Swift Sphere. Red Classic. Haste and Prowess. Not too bad. Defabricate. Another one. 2 mana, choose 1. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. Exile it if it was countered. Or counter target activated or triggered ability. I like Stifle. This is a good, kind of a good pseudo one. Exiling an artifact or enchantment could be big, especially, yeah. Ooh, Thopter Maniac, 2 mana for a 2/1. Maybe draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and whenever it dies, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. See, if it died and then you made however many it had counters, that would be pretty good, but you could probably beef it up pretty quickly, but if only it made tokens equal to its counters when it died. That'd be sweet. Mechanized Warfare. 3 mana. If a red or artifact source you control will deal damage to an opponent, it deals that damage +1 instead. That 1 damage might make a difference sometime. Oh, people love this one. Platinum Angel. How about that? 7 mana, flying. Can't lose the game and your opponents can't win. It's pretty sweet. Too bad he looks like that. Awesome. Kind of a cool planes and a cool soldier. The robots in the background of Brothers Warlands are interesting. Platinum Angel's cool. Too bad he's all bendy. Alright, last one. Masters 25. Let's see. Got some cool ones. Not a lot of super big hits, but I'll take cool. Squadron Hawk. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library up to 3 cards named Squadron Hawk. Reveal them and put them in your hand. Well, be playing that. Probably never. Nezumi Cutthroat. 2 mana for a 2/1 rat. Has fear. Can't be blocked except by artifact and or black creatures. Only artifact creatures. And he himself can't block. We have a Crimson Mage. 2 mana 2/1. For 1, he'll give a creature haste until end of turn. Kind of cool. I liked that. I liked the other one earlier that could come in and give a creature +1 in haste. More surprising than this one, because you can see it coming if he's chilling on board. Oh, a classic. 1 mana 2/1 Savannah Lions. Let's go. Ooh, Brainstorm. That is cool artwork. Draw 3, then put 2 cards from your hands on top of your library in any order. I like that. That looks sick. Enoch Survivalist. 2 mana for a Hound Shaman. He did not look like a hound. He kind of looks like a lion. He is a 2/1, and he can be megamorphed. You can cast him face down as a 2/2 for 3, and then you can turn it up anytime for the megamorph cost and put a +1/+1 counter on it. And when he gets turned face up, you can destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's kind of cool. A lot of hoops to jump through to destroy an artifact or enchantment, but you get there. Assembly Worker. Target Assembly Worker creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Ah, yes. Assembly Worker Tribal. What everyone is going for these days. Frenzied Goblin. 1 mana for a 1/1, and when he attacks, you can pay 1. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. It's kind of cool. Just attack with him, even if he might die, but then you can make it so your big creature gets through on someone. Haunted Fengraf. It's a land, tap to add 1 colorless, or you could pay 3 to tap it, sacrifice it, return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. That could be good, could be bad. Odds are your best creatures might be in there if they're getting destroyed, or if you're milling, you might not have good ones. Not too sure how I feel about that one. Borrowing 100,000 arrows. What an odd name, honestly, for a card. I don't know why. It's just kind of weird seeing the numbers like that. 3 mana to draw a card for each tapped a creature target opponent controls. Damn. That could be crazy. Someone just does an alpha strike on somebody. And you're like, well, actually, now I'm going to draw. How many tokens do you have? 20? I'll draw 20 cards. That's pretty cool. Kind of like that one. Zoetic Cavern. It is a land that you can morph as a creature, but then turn it up into a land. That's kind of interesting, I guess. More cool than it is useful, I think. An Ire Shaman. 2 mana for a 2/1. He has the Megamorph ability as well, where you can cast him as a creature for 2, or cast him as a creature for 3, and then turn him up for 1 to give him a counter. And then when he is turned up, that might be a she, actually. When it is turned face up, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. It's a little impulse draw when this is turned face up. Not sure how I feel about that one. Corona Zealot. 5 mana for a 2/5. Has morph for 5. So when you turn it face up, if you pay the morph cost, all damage that will be dealt to it this turn is dealt to target creature instead. That is interesting. Little bamboozle there. It's expensive though. That is expensive. Oh, Pendelhaven. Legendary land. This is kind of cool. Tap to add a green, or tap target 1/1 gets +1/+2 until end of turn. Oh, look. Look, guys. My elf warrior, he suddenly becomes a 3 or a 2/3. Bet you're scared of him now. Cool if you need a Legends Matter. Counts as legendary. Plus it'll just tap for a green if anything. Oh, look at that. And a foil of the classic. Where would we be without him? And then a morph. It's kind of a cool morph card. Sweet. Well, this wasn't the greatest. What do you expect? I really like the Gisa and the Platinum Angel. Too bad Platinum Angel's a little goofy, but the Gisa is really cool to get. I like that. But yeah, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's the way it goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Look for more in the future. Have a good one. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more.